All right, I'm sure you all must have heard about the Woro Massacre that happened a few days ago in Kayama local government area, Kwara State, where the emir's wife, children, chief imam, teachers and students were butchered as terrorists of around the town. Even the emir, Alhaji Salihu Dantata, is currently missing and suspected to have been unalived or kidnapped after his palace was set ablaze. Sources confirmed the attack was carried out by a Sadiq-led Boko Haram faction, which had previously tried to impose extremist teachings on the community and was reportedly enraged by the emir's refusal to cooperate and also his alert to the military authorities. They actually did warn the authorities, but they took no proactive action to protect the community. Now, after the attack, the terrorists returned the following morning, unaliving survivors who had come back to check on their loved ones. Now, the government reported that about 180 persons have been unalived, but this security expert, Salihu Dantata, has revealed even more shocking details.
Federal government, that particular arena and axis has just exited from Mahmuda terrorist invasion. Don't forget, that was the same local government joined by Baruta local government where the Mahmuda terrorists had threatened for them not to go to farm in the farming season until steps were taken, just the way His Excellency Abdulrazak Abdurrahman and other well-wishers who displayed their ownership involvement, because the issues have most of the inhabitants of Kayama and Baruta local government are aware of their citizens' role as well as ownership involvement role, because as it was happening, they already started transmitting the information. Unfortunately, rescue did not come until a lot of people were massacred. Even the figure government is trying to give now is beyond that. As I speak to you, before I got into the Transcorp here, they told me they had casualty rising up to 300. Wow. They were still performing their janaiza, that is the Islamic burial rites and also for that, because I was communicating directly with the inhabitants in Woro. Because when it happened, they called, even though there were negligence at their part too, and the skeletal military officers that were there, because they said there were about 30 soldiers that were in that community. And these non-state actors came, they grouped in the primary school, they even saw them with guns. So neither the inhabitants nor the security forces that had only 30 people there could give information, because proximity between Woro to Kainji, where you have air weapons school, as well as 221, as well as 101 battalion, is like 3 hours journey, even though there is dilapidated nature of the road. The major constraint in that area is bad road network, because from Wawa to Woro is about 40-something kilometers. Right. But for you to get there, you spend up to 3 hours. Then leaving Wawa to Kayama, you end up spending 5 or 6 hours. Even if you are in an SUV, potholes are up to this, and it is close to abandoned wildlife. These are basically ungoverned areas. But the other negligence at the part of government is also what happened to the earlier intelligence officers posted who succeeded in arresting Mahmuda leader in Wawa. Wawa is close to Woro. They already had this privileged information. This Papiri, this Kaswandaji, they are all close. It is the border between Kwara and Niger State, and you transit from there also to Kebbi and Sokoto State. Already the intelligence reports are there that these fleeing Lakura terrorists, fleeing bandits, might have solace in the abandoned wildlife forest. Just between Mokwa to Ibi, that was where Mr. Niworu Ibrahim was kidnapped, a former commissioner in Niger State, as well as Barrister Ahmed, a serving INEC commissioner in Niger State. Till date, to no avail. The bandits will call and say, give us card, even after the payment of 40 million naira ransom. So in the whole, from Kainji, Wawa and others, even with the presence of air weapons school, 101 battalion, let me tell you one ironic thing. Right. The issues are, they said these same non-state actors, whether ISWAP or what have you, had written to the locals that they were coming. Just the same way they wrote to Kemanji, but fear. They even came with a perception of a kind of inimical preaching, which they never key into. Then some of the community members said there is a particular dialect which belongs to Babana area. They call it Boko dialect that they were speaking. Some of them were also, it means there was a kind of collaboration and conspiracy between them and some inhabitants that are neighboring villages to that particular Woro village. So at it stands, without rehabilitating the roads, from Wawa to Kayama, no matter what onslaught, even the operational vehicles, the gun trucks of the army will have, because if you move in force before you go and carry out this onslaught, they might have escaped through motorcycles.
This is one of the deadliest terrorist attacks in the north-central Nigeria, and it now appears like the jihadist violence is moving beyond the northeast. Too bad.